welcome back to Shemsuniverse. So today, guys, we're going to discuss the relationship between Scorpio and Leo. So these two guys are a very interesting set of signs. At first, because they're two of the most powerful considered signs in the zodiac, I was so sure that they're going to get along very well. I did do some research into their planets, just to give an energies and what different astrologers had to say, and truthfully, they do not get along the best. The best place for these two to get along is what I'm going to start off with today, which would be a little bit different, is as a business partners. The reason being is because Leo and Scorpio are both fixed signs. They're both stuck in their ways. The only way in which they're going to get along and really, work in cohesion with each other is through some sort of business where they have a common goal. Both Leo and Scorpio are known for being extremely disciplined, having high willpower, and great visions for themselves. Leo will go about it by being very noticed in the world. They want to make sure people know that they are successful through their attire, their vehicle, their house, all those conveyances that show that you're rich. The Leo lives through that. On the other hand, you have the Scorpio that can just literally run a junkyard, drive a Honda Civic, and not be known whatsoever, but just have billions of dollars in the bank. So they're quite different in that sense, but they do complement each other when it comes to business, just for the simple reason that they're both able to see through each other's flaws and understand where they can actually mold and make a difference. So for a business standpoint, I'd say it'd be about like a 90% chance that they will work and actually be successful as well. I haven't said that about a lot of business partnerships. I will guarantee that these two will be very successful because of their fixation on success, and the fact that they're fixed signs makes them that much more determined to get things done. In a friendship context, they could get along. The Scorpio would be the type of person where if they met them at school, they'd be the strong guy in the back or the girl that doesn't talk much, but everybody is in awe of because they're mysterious. And the Leo would be the sort of the alpha version in a group where they're the type that wants to take charge. They're the team captain. They're the number one person in the spotlight, but they still would revere and respect the Scorpio. The Scorpio may not revere or respect them, but they'll understand who they are. And they should have a fair deal of respect for them just based on their capabilities as well. So for the most part, even in a friendship basis, these two could get along as well because they both respect each other's power. It's just shown in two different ways. It's like literally light energy versus dark energy. The Scorpio represents the darkness, and the Leo represents sort of the light in that sense. So for friendships, I would say it would go to about 80% of the time it would work as well. Unfortunately, for an intimate relation is where there's a little bit of confusion. A lot of people seem to think that Leo and Scorpio would get along. Remember, this is just still fire and water, even though Scorpio operates like a fire element. I would have to say that Leo and Scorpio operate on a tangent where they're probably going to get along 40% of the time in an intimate relationship. The reason being, the way in which they show love is completely different. Leo shows love through like raw affection, showing off their partner. I've gone over it in other videos. Scorpio, on the other hand, will want to show it through different things like sex and getting that real emotional connection, nothing dissimilar to the Cancer. Leos are considered a bit superficial when it comes to emotional connections, as much as they really view it as that's the first thing that they need, that emotional connection and the intellectualism. They don't get to the depths in which Scorpio does when it comes to really knowing somebody, getting inside their soul, getting inside their mind, and understanding who they are as a person and what makes them tick. Leo will understand that to a certain degree. For sexuality, Leo and Scorpio make a very, very good, interesting mix. They will have a good time together. For trust, they would have a good amount of trust. I would say that they will trust each other because both fixed signs don't really see much need to lie. Leo can sometimes over-exaggerate their successes, but aside from that, they won't have much need to lie. But what happens is through their communication with one another and their perspective is why I have to give them such a low score. The communication aspect of it is as such. Scorpio communicates through, I guess, touch, feel, same kind of way Leo does, but they talk so much less. And if they don't let off what's on their mind, if the Leo offends them or says anything, they're not actually going to let them know that you've said something to offend me. They'll just do power plays. They'll do the same thing back. They'll try to offend them, and then the Leo person won't know why they're even doing that in the first place. So that's where sort of the power plays come in. Leo is more forthright, more of the yang masculine energy in the sense that they'll just confront their partner. But the Scorpio has that resolute feminine energy that actually makes them very dark and secretive and sort of hard to figure out. So even though that could be a turn on and first for an intimate relation, in the long run it leads to a lot of toxicity and just two people that actually aren't really communicating congruently. For trust, like I said, they're good. They can still somewhat trust each other just because they both have an aura and a competence about them that allows them not really to lie. but communication-wise, it's not really there. As for values, the values can be quite interesting. The Scorpio might consider the Leo somebody who's a bit spoiled, somebody who's had a really nice time in life. A lot of Scorpios, especially when they have Scorpio dominant in their chart, in a dominant position, they tend to really have like an interesting life when it comes to karmic reactions to things. So they really carry over things from past lives, nothing dissimilar to the life path number 8. And they have to really get through that. They have to go through the darkness to find the light, whereas the Leo has pretty much already been in the light the whole time. So they sometimes can have a different perspective on life, which in turn makes them have different values. The Scorpio may have less morality than the Leo, or sometimes in other cases more morality because of the stuff that they've gone through. And because of that, sometimes these guys just cannot see eye to eye, and this causes a lot of friction between the two parties. My number one recommendation would be to first work on your communication. Once you guys can both communicate clearly what you want, what you like, what you don't like, that's the first step. And then after that, it's figuring out what your values are, what you guys specialize in, and then what you actually want the relationship to be. If it's an intimate one, find out, is it marriage, is it kids? What exactly is it going to be? If you're already in that marriage and kids situation, find out where's things going next. What's actually going on? Have we been communicating properly? Because if you guys can get along, even though I've given you guys such a low score, you guys could be one of the most powerful couples in the world. Just simply because these are pretty much the top two strongest signs when it comes to just brute strength and power and the ability to manifest. So if you guys are able to get along, make sure you do it. If you can't, communicate and let the relationship go in a very effective way that doesn't harm either party. But aside from that, guys, that should conclude this video. If you guys do have any questions whatsoever, just please leave it in the comments for me. Aside from that, guys, please like, subscribe. Holla, be for today, guys. Peace.